Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning to our FINTECH Circle members, to our webinar to talk about how to scale up your FinTech business and how to do that by outsourcing your product development, your testing to experts who can help you to do it faster, even more professional, to go to market quicker. That's the topic of our webinar today, specifically and exclusively for our members. So I'm really looking forward to engaging with all of you during our session today. It will be very interactive. So what I will do now, I will introduce you in a second to our speaker of today, and then I will hand over to Noemi, who is the partner of 300 Brains. And then I will ask you all to ask us your questions, what you would like to know about product development, outsourcing, about testing, scaling up your testing capabilities, and anything else you want to know based on what you heard from this presentation. So at the end, in order to ask your questions, you can just do that by typing them in. On the right side, you've got your Q&A box where you can type in the questions you've got, and we will come back to them at the end of the webinar. So first of all, you all know me. My name is Susanne Chishti. I'm the CEO, the founder of FinTech Circle, and I'm very excited to have so many of you today joining us. And I would like to introduce you to our speaker of today, Noemi Malska. And Noemi is the board member of 300 Brains, a great company based in Poland but operating globally, who has got extreme expertise in helping fintech companies scale up by helping you to speed up your product development and speed up your testing. But I will hand over to Noemi now to introduce herself in more detail and share what Noemi and her business and her company has learned about how to do this in the best professional way, and what lessons you can also take away in developing your products in the best possible way to get product market fit for your clients in budget and in time. So let me hand over to Noemi. Thanks very much, Noemi, for joining me today, and I'm looking forward to your presentation.
Thank you, Susanne. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for invitation and for joining. Today, I will shortly present you the topic of scaling fintech, mostly by cooperating with outsourcing partner regarding your product development and testing. As Susanne mentioned, I'm a partner and board member at 300 Brains. We are a Warsaw-based company operating globally. So first topic is how to accelerate your product development by working with a nearshoring partner. First of all, what matters is preparation to the process. You really need to know what you actually want. And the first plus of operating with a nearshoring partner is a fact that if you actually don't know yet what you actually want or which technology you would like to develop your product in, the partner will help you. The main difference is that either you decide to hire someone internally in-house through your HR department, or you decide to work in a B2B model, which we all know is fast, more flexible. So thus, you do not need to have anyone on your own payroll. You just focus on a business value, how to provide value and final product to your client, and the rest of the work lays on the nearshoring partner arms. So either you know what you want, what you are looking for, whether it's a single person or the whole team. When would you like the person or a team to start? For how long would you like to cooperate with? So the model of working with a partner instead of hiring in-house may give you flexible options. So the whole team may focus on actually bringing business value, and just one person dedicated to cooperate with a partner is enough to, for example, extend your team with 1 or 2 people for just a few months, and you will receive great value, product development. But after the whole process, you will not need to fire someone, put a notice. You just inform your business partner that the project comes to an end and you would like to finish. So thanks to this, the whole input from your side goes only to the business value, which actually, if you choose the right partner, you may discuss with them as well. If you are a gaming company, it's great if you choose a nearshoring partner focusing in this sector, because such company may bring you not only technology development, but as well other type of know-how, experience, and even network within the sector. But if you are a fintech company, it's great to choose a team that, like us, comes from banking industry. So actually, when you are looking for someone to check the product at the MVP phase or earlier or later on, you may receive, thanks to your vendor, not only technology development, but as well this part. Once you decide whom you would like to cooperate with, you shall focus on the right model of cooperation. There are a few known models, such as fixed price project, which is recommended to those companies that are fully aware of technology scope and the final result they would like to receive after the project. Or you may choose body leasing or time and material if you are looking for someone to extend your team. So development is one thing, but then software testing, which is sometimes, some people say it's actually more important, because usually a lot of bugs appear during this phase. So it's important to cooperate with partner who actually first focus on creating frames and schemes for testing, and then the whole development goes through those frameworks. So why one of the advantages is saving time. You don't need to focus on finding someone proper at the market. If you cooperate with a company, you have an access to a lot of different testers who represent, who cover a lot of different type of testings. So thanks to this, you don't need to cooperate with someone on a full-time premise, but you may just ask your nearshoring partner to test the MVP product, and the partner will choose whom will be best to test the product, how long it may take, and actually you may pay just for those days that the tester work. So you may save time and money. You may increase the quality rapidly, because you will immediately test what developers delivered, so you will not be surprised at the end of the project with different bugs. And cooperating with a nearshoring partner brings you or your team performers and bandwidth, because you may easily extend the team. The last point is supplementation of product testing to C-level banking experts. Majority of fintechs either partner with banks already, or would like to partner with them, or if not, they try to compete with banks. In each way, it's great to have a chance to check whether your product may in the future help banks to develop, whether it's possible to do exit to particular bank. What I've observed is the situation when even well-experienced people from financial sector, if they haven't worked in banks, they are lacking this network. So they don't have opportunity to check their product with, for example, IT director or director responsible for product portfolio in banking sector, or if the fintech optimized processes, checking efficiency of the product with board member responsible for operations in the bank. So exactly the same when startups look for VC fund, bringing them not only funding but smart money. And by smart money, usually you mean network and what door the VC fund may open to you. That should work exactly the same with the vendor partner, because if a partner has a lot of experience in banking sector, can bring you network and arrange a meeting like exactly we are doing, and our clients, they always have a chance to talk to different people in Polish banks. So they have a chance at the very early stage to have a lot of iterations with business people. So they may receive feedback how to whether it's needed or not, how to pivot the product to be able to deliver expected MVP. That's what we are responsible for, and then have a chance to do beta testing with real clients thanks to banking network. I think that only such way may actually result in a real banking implementation, which I believe majority of fintechs are looking for. Thank you very much.
Fantastic, Noemi. Thank you very much. Very interesting. And it reminded me of our own outsourcing process, to be honest, when you explained, how we did also, because we also worked product development, we outsourced it as well. We also helped, we got help with our testing. So I very much understand. And I agree with what you said, how important it is to choose the right partner. And it speeds up your own capabilities internally, because you can't, maybe you don't want to hire so many people for a short period of time, and therefore it makes perfect sense. And Noemi, I've got a question in terms of fintech, working with fintech companies. Have you got any case studies you can share how you supported a fintech startup or fintech scale up in their activities?
Sure. So as 300 Brains, we are providing not only IT services, but as well comprehensive solutions for our clients in fintech industry, starting with consulting at the very early stage about architecture of the product or choosing the right vendors, going on through IT development, and ending with infrastructure and final implementation.
Excellent.
So we provide and we recommend you what technology you may use, what vendors in, for example, security sector you may work with, and implementing solutions that allow our clients to grow more quickly. And one of our longest standing clients is Horum. And in this relationship, we are cooperating with IBM to actively build the first blockchain-based, fully mobile challenger bank dedicated to small and medium-sized enterprises. The main product of this collaboration is a banking platform, will be a banking platform that puts company management and business expansion at its roots. The platform is ready for cooperation with partners, in the banking as a service model. And in this case, we are responsible for implementation of the platform's pillars. We are responsible for all integrations with numerous services provided by Horum's partners, and the provision of applications for platform users in the mobile and desktop channels. And our team of programmers and analysts and testers, supported by a Scrum Master, actively cooperates with product owner and chief business officer on the client side. We are working in sprints under agile methodology using a Scrum framework. And such structure of cooperation brings extraordinary efficiency. So both client is very satisfied, and we do not observe any bugs that need to be repaired. So our team is very happy too. And I do believe that's the example of very successful cooperation. And I wish with I wish each fintech is that satisfied by working with their partner.
Yes, that sounds great. How big is this project team? Because it sounded like a big size, huh? The one you just described.
Well, it depends. One of the core team has 5 people, and they are working each day full time for the client. But by working with the partner, you receive, when needed, option to extend the team. So when it's needed, for example, additional testing, we just add one person for 1 or 2 months, for example, to work with. If it's needed to accelerate development at the last moment, just for example, before investor meeting, we can add the second team that will help ad hoc the main team in development. So that's one of the huge bonuses of working with a partner instead of hiring in-house, because as you mentioned, for a short period of time, you don't need to hire the whole team. You just ask your technology partner to provide you a few more people, and after a short period of time, you don't need to put a notice to anyone. You just inform the partner that now you would like to downgrade amount of people working for you, and that's it. And another plus is shifting responsible to the vendor. We do it professionally, so we are not afraid to take this responsibility. Sometimes our fintech clients ask us to take part in their meetings with their investors, because we are responsible for developing the product. So we may show them that, for example, the product is secure. So during investor meeting, we can simulate, let's say, hacking a particular platform of one of our fintechs, and prove to investors that everything is super safe. So I believe that if our clients invite us for such meetings, that means they really trust us.
100%. And I can see that during your due diligence phase with investors, that of course it backs up the strength of the product, the security features, the whole architectural design, having the experts on the table who are able to answer very technology focused questions as well with strong expertise, so I can see that working very well. That's fantastic. Noemi, I wanted to ask you regarding Corona. I mean, we all suffered from COVID, the last year, and how has the whole COVID time impacted you, how you work with clients? Because I guess everything is virtual now, and what have you learned through this process, and how does your engagement with clients work globally during those times where you can't have meetings in person?
So our internal operations actually haven't changed much, because we were developing a company in a remote mode from the very beginning. That brings, of course, cost cutting, but as well it gives more satisfaction to many people. So we always decided to give a choice whether someone would like to work from office or from home. Majority of people always choose home. So for us, actually shifting it to remote mode wasn't a case. But many of us were responsible for visiting clients. So we spent majority of our time in planes and hotels. We don't have to do it anymore, which I believe brings not only time and money savings, but works as well in a positive way for our planet. But I observed that many startups, and I understand it. Before 300 Brains, I was co-founder of one startup as well. It's very convenient, and it brings a lot of security to have the whole team under one roof and having a chance to meet everyone each day, checking with some updates, because in corporate type of companies, a lot of processes were already implemented. And the huge difference that I observe on the our client, in this case FinTech side, is need to implement communication processes at the very early stage of development, because when someone sits alone at home, nothing is obvious. Body language doesn't work. Receiving some information during coffee break, it doesn't exist, because there are no coffee breaks with other team members. So each information needs to be passed either by email or on Slack or any other communication channel. Nothing is obvious. And although it's not very convenient, and I understand it, to implement let's say serious processes at the early stage of development of a company, I do believe it will pay off in the future, because it's easier to scale internationally, to for example open office in another country, which even we may, of course, all work in a digital mode. Sometimes it is needed to have a local partner. So if a company wants to develop, for example, a European fintech is looking for opening office in US, quite often such processes brought a lot of doubts, misunderstandings, problems. Someone from Europe always needed to fly to US to check whether everything is fine or not. Right now, if we have all communication processes implemented inside in our company, it's very easy just to, let's say, replicate such office, such model abroad. So I believe that in the future it may only help to scale.
Fantastic. That's excellent. I just noticed that my cat is behind me. Noemi, I don't know if you can see her. Can you see her? We've got a little guest who's interested in watching us today in our webinar. It's my little Tommy. We've got two cats at home, but one of them is just watching now. Yes, the other thing Noemi wanted to ask you is about lessons learned. You know, our FinTech members always ask, what can we learn from other mistakes? You know, we don't want to repeat the mistakes other fintech companies did with product development and testing. Can you share any key lessons learned? You know, things you really should take seriously, and you should focus on those when you are scaling up your business.
So one thing is the one I just mentioned. So organized processes. I think it was a huge mistake when startups focused only on so-called startup atmosphere. Everyone is just so relaxed, you know, sipping latte in a coffee shop. I do believe that's not what startup is about. Startup is a company which increase valuation year by year. rapidly. So that's what running a startup is about. The mistake that a lot of companies did, which was lack of processes, right now, thanks to COVID and the need to implement those processes, that may be covered. As well, lack of checking real market need. So what I mentioned at my last slide, checking option for beta testing product inside within the banking industry, having a meeting with someone from a bank potentially responsible for cooperation with such startup in the future. So checking at the very, very early stage of development the real market need or design of the product. I think a lot of fintechs were lacking this approach. I think not only fintechs, basically startups, because we are all so excited about our idea that we just focus on development. But sometimes it's great actually to talk with someone who is more skeptical, and listen to such person, and maybe pivot product, which is easier to do it at the early stage of development. As well, I think a lot of technology teams were lacking tester. So that's important too, because if a team has from the very beginning professional tester working with, as I said, there will be no bugs at the end, because everything on a daily or weekly basis will be arranged, will be clear. And I think more or less that's it. If I come up with someone else, I will.
Makes sense.
I will share it.
Yes, clear benefits. And in terms of Poland itself, I mean, your headquarters in Poland, from a UK perspective, what are the benefits, to outsourcing to Poland versus to other countries? How do you see that?
I think there are a few pluses. First of all, there is no culture difference. So communication, it's easy. When we both jump at the call, there are no misunderstandings. When we say something, always each side knows what someone else has in mind. Everyone in Poland speaks English. There is a huge talent pool. Poland is a huge country, almost 40 million citizens. So there is a talent pool that our clients may choose from. As well, right now, of course, travels are not that common, but of course it will come back. And at some point, it's great to, for example, have a kickoff, 2-3 days kickoff for the whole team, so they can meet. And then our developers come back to Poland, and the communication is more smooth. So the fact that our countries are very close to each other, flight is short, it helps as well. And there is no time difference, or it's just 1 hour, but I don't count it as a time difference. So everyone from our team is always available for our clients. Everyone always picks up the phone if something needs to be developed or fixed immediately. There is no problem with communication. No one needs to wait. And as well, Poland apparently has a very digitalized banking sector due to the past. Due to communism time, when in Poland was nothing, we just jumped through this old style, let's say old school banking systems, and immediately in 21st century we went into digitalized banks. So, for example, open banking, PSD2 regulations, the whole Europe was quite afraid about implementation of Open API. In Poland, almost half of banks already had an Open API, even before it was a must. So this experience and know-how brings a lot of clarity and advantages of working with a partner from Poland. Because, as I said, we may bring not only technology development, but as well understanding of product needs, of processes that our client will go through. Because founder of our team is a former CEO of a holding which owns 6 banks in the region. And our managers and directors were managers and directors in a bank. So thanks to this, we can actually talk with our clients not only from the engineer's perspective, but from the business point of view, which at the end of the day, I think matters mostly, because technology is just a tool to provide the business value.
Excellent. I think it was really great, the way you explained your holistic approach, and that the founding teams have been strategic, involved in strategic positions, in banks, and know and even own, banks in Poland and in the region, which is very impressive, and I think shows the expertise, of course, which 300 Brains brings to the table. And that's why, of course, we've chosen you as our partner, Noemi. With 300 Brains is a partner of FINTECH Circle, and all our members benefit from a discount, when they work and choose to work with you, of 7% of the product costs and the development costs. So that's a big benefit for our members. But Noemi, I would like to thank you so much for the great presentation today, and also all the questions you answered so well. And it was lots of interesting things I learned, and I'm sure our members take away, as key lessons learned, key advice, how to really scale up the businesses and how to work with an outsourcing partner, the importance of product development at speed, and also testing in parallel while you develop your product, to ensure that you have really no bugs at the end and do not find any bad surprises, because you've done it properly from the start. And I think that's the benefit of working with a professional partner, because you can immediately avoid mistakes, which you would do if you would do it on your own. That's probably most likely. So Noemi, thank you very much for your time. It was a pleasure having you, and we will share with all our members your handouts, your contact details. If they want to get in touch, they can do that. And I wish you a wonderful time in Warsaw. So all the best, and speak to you soon.
Thank you very much. All the best to you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.